Jelly Roll.
Good to see you, man.
Good to be back, baby.
It's like, with you, it's like flashes now. You're everywhere. It's awesome to see. It's like good guys win type thing. Are you enjoying it, or is it such a blur? Because, I mean, it has come fast.
Yeah. It got blurry at the beginning of the year, and I recognized that. And I talked to my mentor, my therapist about it, and I was like, I don't want to look back at these years like a vortex. And the best advice they gave me was separate myself from my phone.
Just in general.
Yeah, so like wherever I'm at, that's where I'm at. I'll check that phone and deal with stuff between stuff. But like
be present.
All that matters is all that matters in my life right now is hanging out with Bobby Bones and the crew.
Have you found that you have a new appreciation for first impressions again? Because I feel like I get to see people meet you all the time, and you were always in that rare air of just, you're awesome with people. And I feel like you've made that a priority more than really I've seen anyone do that.
Yeah, thank you, man. I take pride in it, dude. It's like I knew that I wasn't going to be a great entertainer, but I knew that I could be a great connector. So early in my career, I chose connection over entertainment, even when it comes to writing songs. Like, I'm writing to connect. Like, I'm not going to get up there and do a ditty or nothing. You know what I mean? There's never going to be a Jelly Roll song that requires a backflip. You know what I mean? So it's like I knew that early, so I've just focused on connecting with people.
With you and the different types of careers that you have and still have, like you've done it in all these different ways. And I only say this, but on a parallel, like I've worked in I've done hip hop, I've done pop, I've done rock, I've done sports, I do this, but I'm still the same person. Right. Like nothing about me has changed. I just have all these interests in these places. When you were 24, did you ever think you would be doing country music, or was that just something that you knew and you loved from where you grew up, but you really were dedicated to hip hop?
I didn't think I had the voice. I didn't know I could really sing until I was in my 30s. Like, had no clue. And to this day, I still think I'm like the worst singer in town. I'm just learning as I go. Like, I'm getting better. You know what I mean? Like, even if you listen to me from Son of a Sinner to Need a Favor, it's just so much less pitchy and so much more. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just developing into this. I always say it, Bobby, and I mean it, dude. The man changed. I just drug the music with me. The music never knows where we're going. They're just like, whatever this dude's doing, we're doing. You know what I mean? So I changed, and my heart changed, my spirit changed, and the music started to change slowly.
How do you even go anywhere now? Because it's not just the fame and the awards and the Grammy. It's not even just that and the Hulu doc. It's that you have face tattoos and gold teeth.
It's crazy to hear you run that off.
That even if they were like, I don't know if that's Jelly Roll or not. Like,
they
know it's you.
No doubt.
Like, has it been harder to go out and do normal person things?
A little bit, because, dude, not only that, Bobby, I mean, I'm so big, you can recognize me from the back. You can stand behind me and go, that looks like Jelly Roll's shape, you know? But it's been cool, man. I love people, so it don't bother me at all, dude. You know, I just move on with the move on, baby.
So you're at Panda Express eating and somebody comes up, they know it's you. What if you said, nah, it's not me? I get that all the time.
Yeah, I get
You can't do that. You're like, yeah, man, people tell me that all the time. But like, no, the face tattoos are exactly like this on the picture I just Googled.
My favorite is when they go, you look like Jelly Roll. And they're like, people are like, you look like Jelly Roll. And I'm thinking, God bless that poor person that does. You know what I mean? Like, of course I'm Jelly Roll.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I make fun of myself a lot, but I'm not going to acknowledge that because I think you're awesome, and I think we've watched you grow into, who knows? We don't know you every single day like your wife does, but it's like, I feel like when you were in here the very first time to now, even that's a different person.
Yeah.
And not in a negative way. In a way of like, it's weird to see somebody get way more famous and way more cool at the same time.
Ah, dude, thank you, man. I ground myself, dude. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of nerdy stuff that people don't know. I play video games. Like, I'm going to wrestling. Like, that's just who I am, man.
You ever want to be a wrestler? That would be fun.
Oh, dude, listen, I never told this story. It's a Jelly Roll exclusive. There was a wrestling academy in Laverne when I was a kid. And it was ran by the dude from a group. Does anybody listen? Am I the only wrestling nerd in here?
No, I'm a massive wrestling nerd.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember DOA?
Yeah.
Chains owned that studio. So I was like 9 or 10 years old, and they would take us to Laverne and let us run around that ring and teach us stuff. And I loved it. There was definitely a moment in that moment I was like, I'm going to do this forever. Even when they called me to be a part of the show in Nashville, I was like, do I get to body slam somebody? I was like, Hardy got to hit somebody with a guitar. They're like, no, you're doing dialogue. I was like, but I'm more athletic than you think I am. I swear, dude.
Were you a pretty decent athlete?
Yeah. I played football. Well, my high school I missed, but I played football, basketball, and wrestling in middle school.
So you say miss. Prison?
Yeah, I was in juvenile.
But did you guys not? I saw Longest Yard.
Yeah.
In that documentary?
No. We had a boxing program. I started boxing when I was in juvenile. Yeah, but when I think back at that, how crazy is that? Let's get a bunch of violent young kids and teach them to fight.
Jelly Roll's here. Speaking of that, I did see too that, and I'm not going to know this exactly, but you're doing like a show in a like a war. Somebody announced. I saw somebody in with like a badge announced you're doing a show.
So we stop by jails all the time, man. We probably performed at maybe 20 of them this year, if I had to guess. Probably 20, 30 rehabs.
You have?
Yeah, this year. We do it all the time on tour. It's a big thing we do. And there was a sheriff in Chesterfield County, Missouri. No, not my fault.
Michigan.
No. The Michigan's where I'm going, but there was one in another.
Got it.
Anyways, but he's seen what I did with that guy. And these sheriffs are a lot of luck, and they have a big reentry program. And he called me, and I said, dude, I'm in, man. And the cool thing is he's fired up. It's in Flint, Michigan. It's the Flint, Michigan County Jail. They have a barber program, so I'm going to go in and let somebody cut my hair that day. Every inmate who's graduating barber college or got their GED will walk that day with a robe and cap. He gives them robes and caps, which is really cool. I didn't get one. And I get to do a speech at the ceremony, and then I'm going to sing some songs.
I found it, yeah. It's the Genesee County Sheriff of Michigan announced a jail concert featuring Jelly Roll December 5th. Do you ever record these?
Yeah, that's the day after my birthday, too.
Really?
Big birthday. Be good. Yeah, we recorded one for a Netflix thing in the UK. I went back to my old jail, and they let me perform at the jail I was in South Nashville and Harding.
Only UK?
So cool. Yeah, but I don't understand how that worked out. It's crazy.
What's up with America? Why can't we watch this?
I know. like they can't watch my Hulu doc over there, so I guess it's
so
like
maybe
the
that's what's
answer
up.
to that. Yeah.
Well, that Hulu doc is very raw. I like it because, with that documentary, there's the good. I don't even like good or bad, but we'll just say there's one side and there's the other side. You show it all. You're very vulnerable in it as well. Do you feel like people feel they know you better because they've seen you express lows and they feel more comfortable to come talk to you because you've been vulnerable with them?
Yeah, man. I think vulnerability is something that I believe the generation before me missed the most, especially amongst men. We're old enough. I don't want to share our age, but we're close, right? And like men, it was like a rule. You just didn't talk about stuff. And I was like, man, we got to break that as men. We got to start being more vulnerable and creating safe spaces for other men and women to just like me and my wife's entire thing is built on connection and creating a safe space. I want you to be able to call me and talk to me about the shit you won't talk to anybody about.
Like the couple bubble. That's what I call it a little bit. Like we got a bubble and we got to make sure the bubble is protected at all costs with each other. And then we can figure everything else out. You and your wife have a strong relationship there?
Yep. Yeah. I might steal that from you because we just call it the foxhole. And we call it like an onion. There's layers of our foxhole. But the foxhole is just me and my wife and our daughter. You know what I mean? Even just me and my wife. And we bring the daughter in when needed because you don't want to stress her with life stuff. So it's like, this is my foxhole. And then the next layer is this small group of family and friends. It's just creating these safe spaces.
What is your wife, what's her importance to you on a personal level?
Man, constant motivation, inspiration. But listen, Bobby, let me tell you something about my wife. And I'm sure I can tell you feel like this about yours. She's my best friend. And I don't say that loosely. Like when I have a moment to call somebody to just laugh about something, like, how you have them go-to people in your mind. I watch men all day like, I got to step outside and call my wife. I'm like, yes, I got a moment to call my wife. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited to call her. Like I know we're going to giggle. I know we're going to sort through stuff. Like that to me, her inspiration, her motivation, her willingness. Just man, I could brag on her for days, dude. She's everything I'm not. I'm gonna do a post about it. Her closet looks like the epitome of organization, and mine is 2 suitcases strung out on the floor and opened. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is why I have my stuff together, because of this woman.
In that documentary, you took Hillary Lindsay. She's with you, and she's you took her on the road to write. If I'm wrong on this. But you took her on the road to write, and you're writing, and you're singing in like a higher voice with her. I think she's like pushing you a little bit. What's the difference in your rapping voice and your singing voice?
I can sing with more conviction than I could have rapped with which is what I love the most about being able to sing.
Am I right about that? Because I've seen that like months ago, but wasn't she like having you sing higher?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I was trying to sing with her, and Hillary can sing. For those of y'all that don't know, she's one of the greatest songwriters ever, and she has the voice of an angel, and her range is ridiculous. But I ended up actually singing the song in that key, so I ended up shooting for it on there anyways.
Do you feel confident when you're singing at all now?
Sometimes. You know how it is, like anything else, like when the room's right, like when you do comedy and the room feels good and it sounds good, and you're like, oh no, this is like the Opry is one of those places I've never sounded bad. Every time, except for Leslie Jordan's tribute, because I was crying. You know what I mean? But every time it's like, you just certain rooms you feel good. And some rooms you go in and they feel flat. Not the people, the room, like empty room feels flat. And you're like, man, it's going to be a rough night at the office.
Like they give you the confidence to be better, so therefore you're better.
For sure, yep.
After you won at the CMA Awards and you say some really cool things, and then it shows your trophy is broken. Now, was that a prop trophy? Because whenever they would always give me a prop trophy, and I'm like, if they gave Jelly Roll the real trophy that night, like that's baller.
Yeah, no, I got a prop trophy, but I didn't know because I haven't got as many trophies as you. So I was thinking I'd ruin my only CMA
That's funny.
I may ever get. I still secretly hope they duct tape it and send it back to me.
Amy broke hers.
Did you?
Well, a couple of them, yeah.
You broke multiple awards?
Well, one of them I did, and another one Scuba Steve did, and they're in the boxes. Both of us, it was a situation where one fell out of his car, one fell out of mine, but they're glass. And so it's sitting right here next to me.
Y'all didn't wrap it up? Or no, y'all had that little reverence for the
And we
award?
leaned it up against the door. It's the whole.
Oh, no, it just accidentally fell out, and it was still in the CMA box, like
Really?
the protected box. And when you open it up, sadly, it's broken. Like it's very.
Oh, so you didn't know it until you opened the
Yeah, I'm
box.
just going to have to like super glue it, I guess.
Is that Steve's story too, or was it a alcohol-related incident?
No, it was actually Lunchbox because I told him not to put him in the back seat, and he did, and it slid out and it happened to be Amy's.
Yeah,
Here
because
we
their
go.
names
Can't
are
take
on it.
responsibility for our
somebody.
actions.
You know what I
mean?
love about this show? I just watched the domino effect of the blame game.
Yes, and that's what happens. It trails all the way. It'll eventually get back to me or you if you just sit here long enough. What's been the coolest thing about the last year?
The ability to help people. Somebody said a quote that changed my entire life. He said, if we believe, and this changed me just middle of this year, if we believe that our purpose is to be happy, how much more narcissistic could we be? Our purpose in life is to be useful. And man, that changed my entire approach, man. I mean, that's when I started being like, we got to go to rehabs. We got to go to jails. We got to quit just writing checks and helping people. We got to show up and be people of service. And that's been the coolest part, man, is that almost every room I walk into, I make somebody happy. And I spent so many years walking into rooms either completely unseen or bringing the energy down. So now it's really cool to come in and lift things up.
How hard is it to go from being in prison to being just a normal citizen?
It takes a few years. And it's like, dude, I haven't been to jail in, 13 years or something. I went by my old jail again the other day for a TV special. And it's so humbling. I went back to the old halfway house, and I was thinking about it, that 13 years later, I still look at things like, I still won't play spades.
Because it reminds you of what you're doing there.
Yeah, I still won't play dominoes. I don't eat Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos. But they're a big commodity in jail. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, you put them on sandwiches and stuff. But it's like, yeah, those things you realize stick with you forever. And that's just from my childhood being in and out for 8-9 years. I think about guys like Struggle who did 6-7 years, 5-6-7 years straight, or dudes that have done 10, 20, 30 years. I couldn't imagine reacclimating to society.
What's been the hardest thing about the last year?
The schedule. Full, maybe too honest, but the schedule, sometimes you're just like, man, it's a lot. I'm grateful for it. You don't want to talk about it. It's hard, man. Are we in a safe space right now?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, right, because it's like, I don't want to come off ungrateful.
You're not going to come off. I asked you the question. I complain about.
Schedule.
Yeah, it sucks.
But sometimes you look at the schedule and you're just like, man, I wish I had a little autonomy. I wish I just had a couple of days to dude, I think I've slept in my bed 38 days this year. Mm. And Lainey did 17 last year.
Yeah.
So she's like, grab me a river.
There was
I'm
a
not
point
talking to you no more.
where I was thinking to myself, and I kind of had to adopt I'm lucky I get to be this tired because I work so hard to be able to run this ragged. Mm. And I would have to have that or I would have just died.
Right.
But that's what I had to really commit myself to. Like, I'm so fortunate to be able to be this exhausted, flying all over the country, doing this stuff, because it does suck. Yeah. But like, you deserve it, and you deserve to be that tired. And congratulations, that's the greatest thing about it. Yep, it's the greatest thing.
It's the gift and the curse, right? It's like the schedule gets exhausting, but then you're like, man, dude, I'll be in, I think, 4 different states this week, and that's awesome to me. You know what I mean? I'm working all the way up until like the 20th of December, I think is my last thing.
The gift
I got
and the curse.
17 shows left this year.
Really?
Yeah, even when this airs.
So what do
17
you do
shows.
to, rest and like if you have that moment or to recharge? Like, what does that look like for you?
Man, I'm nerd, dude. I play video games a lot.
What do you
love
play,
them.
though? You said it
I
twice.
play like Call of Duty or
Okay.
I'll play Madden. I play everything. Anything that's like, I'm a real tribal guy. So anything that we can play as a team. You know what I mean? I'm into all that stuff. And golf, I finally got to golf the other day. It was awesome. I went out on Black Friday and played at my old watering hole. It was fun.
That's the first time I ever saw you like in person was on a golf course.
Yeah.
With Steve Hodges years and years and years
Haji,
ago.
baby.
Yeah. And I was like, Jelly Roll the rapper plays golf.
Yeah. I love it too, dude. I played the other day for like the 4th time this year. I've been so busy. And the other 3 were like scrambles, like charity. And I had a good time, dude. I played pretty decent, man. I mean, I shot high, but I had a couple of holes that I was like, I still got it.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's all, dude. You know, that game is a curse. You can go out there and bomb for 17 holes and make 1 par and be like, I'm quitting my job, dude. I'm going to the league, dude. I'm joining the pro. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. Why am I rapping? Why am I singing?
Let's talk about Save Me. So, the song, you mentioned Lainey, you and Lainey do this song together. I mean, I feel like before this was even put out as a single, it had single momentum and like single feel behind it because of how it had touched people. Do you feel the same way? And why do you think that is?
Yeah, man. It's like, well, I think that it was just so honest at a time we needed honesty. This was in the middle of 2020 when I dropped it. Now, when I met with the record label, this is how the sausage is made, super inside baseball. I take Jonathan Loba to the side before we sign our deal. I say, look, I know this song's already a double platinum song. But, man, I get so many messages about the impact of this song. I think it could help so many people if we could find the right partner and give perspective. And this was before I signed the deal, before Son of a Sinner, before Need a Favor, any of this, And he goes, I agree, let's find the right partner. And when I went to Lainey about it, it was a no-brainer. I heard the conviction in her voice. You're talking about God being good, Bobby. I would have never, I knew that she was on a hot streak when I got her on the record. And at the beginning of this year, I said, Lainey, I want you to know I'm hooking my trailer to your train here. Everything Jelly Roll can do with this song, I've done. I need a woman's perspective and I need your spirit on this. And she said, I got it. And then that same year, she goes on to win Entertainer of the Year and have 4 or 5 number ones. I mean, she just had an unreal year. So I couldn't have had a better dance partner. I think she actually did all the heavy lifting on this one.
You guys can follow Jelly at JellyRoll615, which Eddie brought to us that you tell him?
Man, Jelly Roll follows me on Instagram.
Yeah, baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't
Was
know.
that a mistake? Did you accidentally slip on
I
the
am
phone?
a fan of the show. This is when I get on here, I just struggle not to ask y'all stuff that y'all didn't elaborate on that I want to know about, or that I might have missed the next one that somebody told what ended up happening. I got questions. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he came in one day, top of the world. He's like, Jelly Roll follows me.
It made my year, man.
And then we told him it's probably a fake account.
No, dude. It's me, dude. I'm there. I love y'all, dude. I love this show.
Well, good to see
Y'all
you,
know my
man.
mama loves this show.
We do.
Donna, I love you, baby.
We do. So happy for you. Hopefully I'll see you in passing a few times because you're just running, experiencing the success and spreading the word. It's really cool to see it just blow up and for you to be like more cool, like chill or more down. I don't know. We're around each other all the time, and I get to see new people come and meet you for the first time and freak out, and you treat everybody like they're the only person you have ever met in your entire life.
Thank you.
It's super cool to see.
No, it's the coolest thing ever. Thank y'all for having me. Thank you for the show being an advocate for Jelly. It's been fun from day one. This was my first big look on the on radio. I'll never forget the first interview and it going viral for us and how much that did for me in my career. I'll always think of y'all. That's why we're friends. That's why I follow all of y'all. That's why I harass Scuba Steve all the time. And I just love y'all, man, and I love you, dude. And thank you, by the way. That night we did the Opry, I seen you talked about it the next day on the show, man. It meant a lot to me.
Oh, yeah, dude.
like I
I've
said,
never seen that place more electric I had to go on right before you, and I was like, man, this crowd is nuts. And I'm telling jokes, right? And I'm like, they're nuts. Not in a bad way, not in a good way. It's just a weird feeling. And then I was like, oh, and I said, Jelly Roll, and the place like popped. And there's a clip I have on the internet where this woman is going crazy. And I'm like, you here for Jelly Roll? And she looks like, I think I say she looks like Martha Stewart meets Girls Gone Wild. Right. And she's out of her mind, but she's like somebody that you just see at the post office. Right. I've never seen that place more electric. Like I've seen Garth come on and it be a monster. Right. But I've never seen it electric before somebody comes on. And I've been at the Opry. I've played it 25 times. I've probably hosted the show 100 times. That was the craziest performance I've ever seen before you even got on stage for you. Yeah. It was awesome.
It was awesome, dude. And thank you when you said that. I appreciate it. But just know I love y'all, like all of y'all. This is awesome.
All right, at Jelly Roll 615, he may follow you, everybody.
Yeah. You never know, dude. I follow back.
Wait, but can you say that quote that you shared a minute ago that you heard this year that changed your perspective, changed your life? I feel like closing on that would be really good because I think that is such a powerful thing.
Yeah, it's that if we think the purpose of life is to be happy, that's so narcissistic of us. The purpose of life is to be useful. I just want to be a man of service.
Yeah, I love that.
And I just want Arkansas to win a national championship in football, but we're both working, aren't we? Dang. All right, there he is. Jelly Roll, everybody.
Yeah, baby!